It's Monday. There's no NBA tonight. That means MLB betting. We're going to find something, but we're going to do it together. More on that in a minute. But first, let's talk about yesterday. What a day it was. It started pretty bad. Joey Wentz, he had 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Couldn't get home. I mean, the guy started getting waxed. I think in the 3rd inning. Rough day for Joey. But that was the last time we would taste the loss the rest of the day. Louis Varland, our guy Louis, over 5.5 strikeouts for plus money. Easy. He won. The next guy, though, our psycho bet, Kyle Freeland. 8 strikeouts. We needed him 5+, plus 235. I wish I would have done 6+ and 7+, but I didn't. Maybe next time I will. Awesome day. We're going to try and keep the winning going today, but first, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel. I'm serious. Do it right now. It takes 2 seconds. You love betting sports. I love talking about betting sports. It's a perfect match. Go ahead and throw a like too, maybe even a comment. Tell YouTube how much you like betting sports. It can only help. They're going to show you more sports betting stuff if you do that. I've got good news and bad news. Today's slate, I've already been through it. Not great. There's a lot missing today. I think we'll be able to find something, but I just want to walk you through what I'm looking at every single day. We did it last Monday. People said they liked it. I like doing it because, again, I like talking about betting sports, so it just makes sense for me to do it. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and show you exactly what I'm looking at. All right, so the first thing we're going to do every single day, every day, no matter what, go to Oddsjam, use the screen page. There's also, we're doing a 7-day trial at Oddsjam, so if you want to try it out for yourself, just click that link up on the top of the screen there. You can jump on that. It's by far the best sports betting tools in the industry. You can try it out for yourself for free. On their screen, what makes it the best there is look how many markets there are for MLB. They literally have every single market you could possibly imagine on a screen. So you can see the odds from every book at the same time, in real time. Tough to beat that. The one I always go to, right there, pitcher strikeouts, greatest market there is in baseball. I don't even want to argue about it. So today, the first thing you're going to notice is there's a 4 o'clock game. Obviously, you want to check that for a bet just because it's Monday. And to have a bet going on at 4 o'clock to start the gambling night at 4 is just, you have to do it. But here's the thing. If you want to do it today, you're going to have to take David Peterson over 5.5 strikeouts. If you go to Major League Baseball's website, to their stats, you're going to see where the Washington Nationals rank in strikeouts. So sort your column. I have it sorted right now by the season and go all the way to the bottom, and that's where you're going to find the Washington Nationals. 280 strikeouts in, it looks like, 1,357 at-bats. That is not a team you want to target, especially for a 5.5 guy. The guy had to strike out 6. Now, can he do it? Of course he can. We're talking David Peterson here. But my point is, do we want to do that? Especially at 4 o'clock. I mean, I'm not really looking to do that, to be honest with you. So you got to go to the next pitcher. Patrick Corbin against the Mets. It's obviously same game. So you go back over to MLB, and you check and see where the Mets are on the season. I'll show you something in just a second, but this just gives you an idea of who they are. So this is who they are. The season stats, to me, is who you are as a team. Now, if you want to find out, all right, I'm sorry, and you'll see that the New York Mets are 4th fewest strikeouts this season as a team. Not great. That's not a team you want to target. But things change. The MLB season is a very, very long season. We're talking 162 games here. So there's ebbs and flows. So Major League Baseball decided they'll let you sort these columns by 7 days, 15 days, 30 days. I like 7 days and 15 days. So when you go down the last 7 days, you'll notice that the Mets are still 4th fewest, 42 strikeouts and 210 at-bats. The Nationals are at 45 and 207. That's not someone you want to target. Either one of those teams, are just look somewhere else, right? Especially if you have a ton of games. Now, we know Corbin's a lefty. So, versus left-handers, maybe we have something here. We can check that. You'll see the Giants and Phillies and Red Sox are the teams you want to target. But look at the Mets. $110, 468 at-bats. Some quick math will tell you that is, give me 1 second while I get my calculator. That's not great, but it's got to be something. It's not that bad either. That's 23.5%. That's 24%. That's, again, that's just not something you want to target. If you're still not convinced, you can go over to Baseball Reference, go to Patrick Corbin, get his game logs for this season, and see for yourself. Do we want to take this kind of a risk? Because remember, his number was 3.5 minus 140. Now, so you're laying 140 to take this cat, which feels kind of wild against a team that really doesn't strike out that much. They do strike out a lot against lefties, but that's the aggregate number. Percentage-wise, that's not really a high percentage. Like you want to target a team that's like 30% against lefties. Then now you're cooking with grease. All right, so if you look at Corbin, last few starts, he's threw 96 pitches in his last start, 80 the one before that, 91 before that. So he is probably going to get you to the mid-90s at best, but his floor looks pretty good as well. He threw 80. That's kind of messed up that they only let him throw 80 against the Cubs, and he was kind of cooking that day. Struck out 6. That was big. Struck out 6 Twins, 4 Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians don't really strike out that much, so that's kind of impressive. Giants only got 3. But my number, the one I look for the most, is strike swinging. That is, to me, the best indicator of a strikeout pitcher. If he could throw something by people, we're good. If you notice, Corbin's a 10% guy. So that's the floor for me, for my targets. I like that. Like, you give me a 10% guy, I might be willing to back him. So what we would do in a situation like this is head over to FanDuel, and let's get a number on his 5+ strikeouts, because we're not doing over 4 for minus 140. That's ridiculous. We might want to just put this guy in our back pockets for later on for the psycho bet. So Patrick Corbin right now is your clubhouse leader for a psycho bet. Okay, that's the only way we can play that one. Again, I don't like to target the Mets, but I mean, 5 strikeouts, that's not that many. He's a 10% swing and miss guy, and the game's on at 4 o'clock. So I mean, we got a lot working for us. Now we go right back out to our Oddsjam screen. Grayson Rodriguez against the Angels. If you want to go over 5.5, I don't really do a lot of unders. Just I hate unders. I'd rather just not even gamble than under. I'd rather lose actually than take an under. So I'm only looking over here. 5.5 against the Angels. I don't think the Angels really strike out very much. Again, you just use Major League Baseball, their stats. The Angels on the season don't seem to be a strikeout team. They're 20th overall. So, it's not really – they're not really not a target, but they're not a target either, if that makes any sense. We'll look at the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it doesn't look great for our Angels. Looks like the Rangers, Cubs, A's, Pirates, Reds, like those are all your targets. Yeah, the Mets are down there, and there's the Angels. All right, so maybe we don't – actually, I forgot one thing, guys. Day games. We do have a day game. And the Mets in day games looks like 181 strikeouts and 763 at-bats. It's 24%. That's still not great. Again, we want like 30% guys. Like we want just somebody just guys that look blindfolded up there. So we head back out here. Grayson Rodriguez, I don't know if you know him. He's the kid for the Orioles. He's all over the map. The thing with him is at this number, I'm not even focused on necessarily him as much as the number, but 5.5. He has to get 6, obviously, and it's minus 106. I feel like that's the ceiling for him, especially against a team that doesn't strike out. Yeah, he could go out there and throw, get 8 strikeouts. He could do that. Like, I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying, is that a good bet? And at that price and at that number, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I want nothing to do with that. Maybe if I see a lineup and you see something there, but we're hours away from seeing lineups right now, so that's not even an option either. Next, Shohei Ohtani. Could he strike out 6.5 people? Of course he could. He's Shohei Ohtani. It's minus 152 just for 7. Guys, anything can happen when you need 7 strikeouts. And here's the thing, though. I wouldn't even go minus 152 for 7. I'd want him to get 8 for plus money. But now you're betting on a guy to get 8 strikeouts. Like, that's That's just too many. There has to be something better, in my opinion. There has to be something better. Alek Manoah, it looks like there's only one line for him at Pinnacle right now. Every other book is kind of holding off on him. I'm not sure what's going on, so we'll just skip that for now. George Kirby against the Red Sox, who we know don't really strike out that much. 4.5 plus 134 is not that bad of a price for him, but it's not good either. We'll put him on the back burner. Again, we don't want to have to target the Boston Red Sox, especially against a righty. I'll show you here. So year to date versus right-handers. Oh, there they are. Fourth to last. Oh, yeah. 204 strikeouts, 955 at bats. That's actually pretty. I mean, you could just find better bet. You have to have a better bet than that. That's all I'm saying. Like sure, the 4.5 I like. I like my 4.5 guys. I like the plus money, but I can't pull the trigger on something like that. Especially, I don't want to target a good team that doesn't strike out. Tanner Houck, 4.5 minus 128. That's not that bad. I mean, that's a better price than every single book on the planet, which is why you want to use this Oddsjam screen. This is the reason. Minus 158, where it's minus 120 at FanDuel. So why would you ever bet over 4.5 at minus 158 at Caesars when you could bet over 4.5 minus 120 at FanDuel? But if you didn't have this screen and you just had your Caesars app up, you would just see it as a minus 158 when it's really not. I mean, that's 38 cents. That's a lot. So, and also, too, if you notice, Pinnacle has that minus 136. So you're even beating them, even though I don't think they're as sharp with player props. Moving right. So Tanner Houck might be an option, but I'll show you the stuff that scares me about him is I think he's like an 8% swing and miss guy. So he's not generating a lot of swing and misses. My bad. He's an 11%. What scares me about him then? Because he's got Seattle, who they stink. I don't like the minus 120. If we would have to go to 6. That's the problem I have with him. He's done that a couple times against the Angels and the Twins. But then since then, 2 against Baltimore. He got rocked against Toronto. Still struck out 5, though. Hung in there. And then 4 against Philly. So, I don't know. I feel like we're betting on his top end. There has to be something better here. Sorry, see how Peralta's 5.5, Flaherty's 5.5. I'm going 4.5, 3.5. You're looking at those guys first. That's your chance for upside. Framber Valdez, 6.5. I do like him. I do think he strikes out a bunch of guys tonight. But again, he has to get 7, and it's only minus 120. Even though FanDuel has the best price going, if you check that out, minus 136, minus 140, minus 140, minus 146. I mean, to have minus 120 there, if you're going to play it at FanDuel, definitely. James Italian, I didn't know he was back. Is he back? Let's go see when the last time he pitched. Here's something for you guys that I wonder how we how you kind of view pitchers that are coming back from an injury. You don't want to just blindly take them. There's one later on, Alex Wood, that I'll walk you through too. This guy last pitched on May 9th, May 4th. Okay, so he's been back for a couple starts now. Okay, so he left on April 15th. He threw five innings, 85 pitches. The next time he pitched, he came in and started against the Nationals and only threw 42 pitches. The next time he was up to 69 pitches. So this time he should be back in this range, the 85, 83. So that's not bad. So, I mean, he's going to throw probably 85 pitches. He could throw a season high in pitches tonight. When he's done that already, he struck out 7 Rangers and 7 Dodgers. 11% strikeouts or swinging strike percentage, which is pretty good. He's got the Astros. So let's see how they're doing. I guess he's a righty, so we can see that while it's still up. 265 strikeouts and 1,009 at bats. That sucks. Like, we want a team to strike out way more than that. And last year they didn't strike out much. The Astros, they were a firm no-go. This year they're 25th, so that's what? Yeah, that's at the bottom. They're definitely a no target. Like, here's my no targets: Washington, Cleveland, Arizona, the Mets, the Red Sox, and the Astros. I mean, the Blue Jays I won't mess with much. The Orioles. I mean, you can just find better opportunities. So that's the problem with him. I mean, if you're keeping up right now, we have one maybe, and it's a psycho bet, and that's it. And it's against a team we don't even want to target in the New York Mets. So today's slate, I told you it's going to be tough, but this is wild. Okay, so now we got, who's the next one? Oh, there is a Bradford kid. We don't have a line for him at FanDuel yet. He's 4.5 plus money. He's going against the Braves. I think he's a lefty. It's his first ever start, so that's why I'm not really considering him. And then Charlie Morton, 6.5. We're not doing 7 strikeouts. Moving on. Here's one that I think has potential, but in order to do it, you would have to bet on Connor Seabold. Okay, so if you don't know, he's a Rockies pitcher, and they're playing against the Reds, who do strike out. They are on the season, they're 5th most. They're a known strikeout artist team. Over the last week, they're 3rd. They've struck out 64 times in their last 192 at-bats. Braxton Garrett just owned them yesterday. In the last 2 weeks, Braxton Garrett had 8 strikeouts yesterday. So, think about that for a second. 122 strikeouts in their last 436 at-bats. At-bats aren't the best way to do this, just so you know. You can do plate appearances. I kind of like plate appearances better, 475. But the at-bats will give you an idea. All right, now do you look at plate appearances? Does that make sense to everybody? So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this on your own. But Connor Seabold, all right, so the Reds are definitely a team that you would target. But here's the issue with Connor. Wait till you see what he's done. Like, this guy is an absolute mess. There he is. Sweet mustache, though. That gets him instant consideration. He's 6'2", $190, which I wish, I like the 6'2" guys to be like 200-something pounds. So there's that, too. All right. Number of pitches. I mean, this guy's thrown 49. He didn't even start, so he's only started 2 games. 75 and 77. Not bad. Swinging strikes 10%. That's good. That's in our threshold. The thing that we'd have to know is that they're going to let him throw pitches. So now you want to figure out, why did he only throw 75? He threw 67 before that. So he was a long reliever, obviously. So 49, 31, 2, 21. I mean, looking through here, before he started, the most pitches he threw was 67. So maybe he's stretched out now. There's that. The 3 home runs to Milwaukee, and that's not great. That was at home. Only 1 strikeout, not great. And then the next time he pitched against the Pirates, who are pretty good, but they've been striking out lately, and he only got 3 of them. Which, again, that's not that great. It is 3.5 plus money, and he might throw more pitches tonight. I would want him to be in the 90 range. Like, let the guy throw 90 pitches and we're good. But he went 5 innings, only got 3. This is what I would like to call a strong maybe. He's a righty, so you go over to FanDuel. Let's just get an idea. Let's just see what it looks like. Although it scares me to death to think that so far my bets for tonight would be Patrick Corbin, 5 strikeouts, and Connor Seabold, anything. I'd say over 3.5. That's a psycho bet for Connor Seabold, 3.5, but it's plus money. You only need to get 4 strikeouts to get there. So while you're kind of like, oh man, it's Connor Seabold, it's 4 strikeouts, guys. If you wanted to go psycho, plus 280 for him, and then plus 112 for 3.5. We'll put both of them in there for now, just to kind of. And then I'll show you this. So here's what you want to do. All right. So we're kind of interested on him, right? So you don't go to this year, go to last year. What was this guy last year? Who is this Connor Seabold guy? Is he going to get us strikeouts? Is he almost is getting us strikeouts? Kind of, but he's only thrown 2. He's only started twice. Got 3 in 1 game. He's got the Reds. You have 2 there in 54 pitches. He threw 85 pitches. He got us 4. Another time he threw 74 pitches, he got 4. Struck out 7 guys once, so that's not bad. I mean, that's June 27th last year. 86 pitches, struck out 7 people against Toronto. That's promising. Like, he's done this before, I guess, is all we're kind of looking for. But still, like, it's Connor Seabold, guys. Like, what are we doing with our lives? Still, we got to find something. All right, so moving along, Hunter Green against Colorado, 5.5. So Hunter Green is not a 5.5 guy. He's a 6.5 to 7 guy. So what the hell is going on here? Yeah, so if we want to go see what's up with Hunter Green, we just go to his baseball reference page. Guy's throwing 100 pitches. I mean, he struck out 4 Mets, which we know don't strike out a lot, 7 White Sox, 10 A's, 6 Pirates, 10. I mean, so he's a 10 guy, obviously. Why he would only be, I think it's because this game's in Colorado, but why he'd only be 5.5 is pretty interesting. So we'll wait till we'll see a lineup on him. And then finishing up, I mean, Michael Wacha against the Royals, they don't strike out. I can tell you that right now. So, and he's not really a strikeout guy, so that's another thing. Yeah, the Royals are 481, 180, 108 in the last 481 at bats. Not great. That's, I think on the season they strike out even less. And then Walker's not really a strikeout guy. Kelly, we're not going 6.5. Drew Rucinski, I know for a fact, is like, oh, he might not get 1 strikeout. So Andy's going against the Diamondbacks, who they're on the no fade list. So that's a no-go. So, yeah, going through here, Merrill Kelly, I'm not betting him to get 7. Brad Keller gets the Padres, no thanks. I've already been through his. Alex Wood is the only one of these remaining guys because we have Pablo Lopez. 5.5, I might be interested in against the Dodgers, so we'll have to see a lineup for that one because Dodgers kind of strike out, and he's a strikeout guy. But again, it's minus 150 for 5.5 to take that over. Like you'd have to go 7+ in order to get a plus money move on that. And I'm not really laying 150 to see this guy get 6 strikeouts. That doesn't feel like it's worth it. You almost want to go under at that point, but then again, I'd rather lose than take it under. So yeah, Brad Keller. I can't do Brad Keller on a Monday. He's more of a weekend guy. Again, he's walked like 1,000 people this year. So that's until he gets that figured out, I don't think we can bet him. Alex Wood, though, I just said, so maybe 5+ will be in line with what we want to do. But the problem is he's going to be on a pitch count. So we don't know what that pitch count is. So I'm going to look all day and see if I can get clarity on that. If that's the case, then Philly, we know, strikes out against lefties, so he could be in play if he's going to be allowed to throw like 80 pitches. Bailey Falter, no thank you, even though it is against San Francisco and they do strike out. 4.5 is plus 110. I would do that over 3.5 any day. 3.5 minus 160, so keep that in mind. And then finally, Noah Syndergaard. He left last game. His hand was bleeding. He had a blister on it. This guy didn't strike out anybody at all. I think he gives up a ton of stolen bases, though. So if you're into that kind of thing, maybe look at the Twins, like who steals bases for them. That would be a play. But yeah, so we go over now to FanDuel where we built where we stacked away our picks. And as of right now, this is why you can see why I'm so afraid of today. These are the bets. It's Patrick Corbin, 5+ strikeouts, plus 172, and Connor Seabold, over 3.5 strikeouts, plus 112. If you wanted to go psycho on Seabold, you could do the 5+ for plus 280, even though he has not done that this season. So that's going to wrap it up for me. That's what we boiled down to. Follow me on Pick'It because that way you'll find out if I'm going to bet any of these. I'm probably going to wait to see some lineups today and maybe some umpire assignments, something like that, just to get a little bit more information on this. But if you're not on Pick'It, it's a bet tracking app. My sports books are all hooked to that. The second I make one today, I will make sure to log in to Pick'It so it updates. I think that's been an issue lately, but I got it fixed now. All you got to do is just make sure it's synced. So I'll sync it the second I put something in. Good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.